everyone, I'm Scotty. This is Mac. We're the Scotty and Mac Prep Report. Here reporting from Friday night for all y'all that enjoyed yourself this week, and we're here to catch you up on what's happened over the weekend. We'll take you from rural to 7A. We're going to start in the rural division. If you like what you hear, please like and follow. Mac and I start with the Madison County game in the rural division. They go on the road, play Bay, a 4-0 Bay team, and beat them 41-35 in a great game. Madison County has 3 or 4 players that have really stood out for them. LJ Crumity has played really well. Naquez Christian has played well. Dre Arnold's played well. Travis Arnold's played well. They go next week to play a 3-1 Pace team. That's going to be a very difficult game for Madison County, but nonetheless, way to go, Cowboys. Great game. You played a very difficult schedule, one of the most difficult schedules in the state of Florida, and it doesn't get any easier next week. Second game in the rural division I'd love to cover is the Chipley game. Chipley at home beats a really good J team 21-14. They play Holmes County next week. I expect them to win that game and go to 6-0. Holmes County's in a transition year, and it's 2-3 at the moment. Coach Buchanan hasn't posted any stats, guys, so it's difficult for me to give you any love or flowers, but nonetheless, good luck next week against Holmes County. We move into the A division. We had First Academy. First Academy's 3-2, but they played a very difficult schedule. They play Venice at home and beat Venice 28-24. Venice has to be one of the most disappointing stories in the state of Florida. They had a bunch of kids transfer in there this year. I don't know what's going on, whether it's culture, coaching, players, injuries, a myriad of things, but they're having a difficult time winning in Venice, and they need to get back on track as they get moving forward. First Academy plays Gadsden County next week. Gadsden County's 0-3, but Gadsden County has a really difficult schedule, so don't be deceived by that record. But when you start talking about that First Academy team, you have Brian Dillard in that 2027 class wide receiver that's played well this season. You've had Demetrius McCray, wide receiver on that team that's played really well this season. And then I would say on defense, for me, it's Ryan Smith. But nonetheless, they go next week to play a really good Gadsden County team, an 0-3 team, but be ready, they're ready. We move into 2A division, we get Santa Fe. What a great program. They are 4-0. They went on the road, beat a really solid Fernandina Beach team, 37-27. Josiah Powell, the running back, Kamarian McNeil, and Cole Chung Yu on defense. 2 on offense, and really Cole Chung Yu on defense have all played really well this season for that Santa Fe team. They go play University Christian next week. University Christian's 4-1. Santa Fe needs to get ready for them, and I anticipate that to be one of the best matchups next week. We then go into the Bradford game. Bradford County has the one tough loss this season to a really good Mandarin team. They played Eastside at home, beat Eastside 28-7. You think about that team, you can't think about that Bradford team. I mentioned that Bradford team without talking about Cy Cubbage in that 28 class, 6'2 quarterback. And you have Ian Addison, the running back, obviously, and Jordan Kaysen, the wide receiver. On the defensive side, for me, I really enjoyed Justin Hall and Haverly Lee. Those guys have all played well on defense for Bradford. They are at home next week against an 0-4 Keystone Heights team. I expect Bradford to win next week, as does Mac. We are advancing into 3A with Miami Central. Miami Central's 3-0. Derek Gibson has that team rolling. They beat American Heritage 31-21 at home. American Heritage, I know, is playing without Diabell, but that's one of the most disappointing stories in the state as well, along with Venice. They're not doing well. They're 1-3. They need to get back on track. But nonetheless, Miami Central plays Northwestern next week. That's a 3-1 Northwestern team. That's going to be a really close matchup. Mac is picking Central. We move on to the Sarasota-Booker game. Sarasota-Booker's 4-1. They beat Lely at Lely 28-14. What a game. Joel Morse at quarterback. Not the freshman Mylan Brown, the wide receiver Dylan Webster, and then you have Tyron Wortham, the other wide receiver. They're stacked on the offensive side of the ball. Sarasota Booker plays Bayshore Bradenton next week. Bayshore's 4-1. That's going to be a great matchup and one of the best matchups next week in the state of Florida. We move on to 4A. One of Mac's favorite games of the week, Port Charlotte. They go and beat Sebring at home, 28-24. You look at that Port Charlotte team, it's led by Logan Flaherty, the 6'3 quarterback in the 2028 class. You have Bruce Blandon, the big 6'5" receiver that everyone in the country is going to want soon enough. And then on defense, it's got to be Dallas Lambert. He's had a really nice year, as has Amadre Green. So nonetheless, Port Charlotte goes next week to play a Fort Myers team that's 3-1. Mac's picking Port Charlotte in that game. It's going to be a close one. Good luck next week, guys. Stay healthy. We move on to the Jones game. Jones is 3-2. Not really sure what's going on there. You have Darion Coleman and Larry Miles, considered two of the best offensive players in the state of Florida. They're struggling a little bit at Jones. Jones is 3-2, but they go and beat Osceola at home, 28-14. Nice win for Jones. Next week they get Auburndale. Auburndale is 3-1. That won't be an easy matchup for Jones. Mac's picking Jones in that game. But we move on to St. Augustine. St. Augustine's got to be one of the best surprises in the state of Florida. Great coaching, great quarterback coach. 2027 quarterback there, Brenton James. If you don't know about him, you should. 6'4", can run, can throw. And he's backed up by Darrell Preston in the backfield. And then, of course, you have Mason Bean on defense. But that St. Augustine team went to Nice, a really good Nice team, and beat them on Friday night, 28-24. St. Augustine gets Columbia next. Columbia is one of the most improved teams and back to the old days. Columbia's 5-0, so it'll be really great to see who wins that game next week. And that's one of the best games across the state of Florida next week as well. We advance and talk about this Jesuit team, the Tampa Jesuit team. Shout out to my alma mater. Nonetheless, they hosted Cardinal Newman. Cardinal Newman has a great quarterback. I thought Jaron Hooley, I thought it was going to be a really close game. It was not close. Jesuit rolled them 31-0. Will Griffin, Hez Davis, Rayshawn Fitz both played well on offense. Fitz has played really well on defense for Jesuit. I know Jesuit has an all-world linebacker, but Fitz has about 49 tackles in that middle spot. And Coach Thompson leads a lot of stuff in the middle of that defense. And Cottrell had a lot of success at that same position. And Fitz has an awful lot of tackles. And he's in that 2028 class. And I feel like we should mention him. But Jesuit goes on the road next week. And they play University, a 1-3 team. And I expect them to roll. We move on to Columbia. What a treat Columbia is in Lake City. I know they are the talk of the town. They are 5-0. They beat Trinity Christian last week at home, 27-20. Xavier Collins at quarterbacks had a great year. Jerome Horn at running backs had a really nice season. Kyron Caldwell at receivers had a nice year. Cameron Mills on defense deserves mention. But nonetheless, that 5-0 Columbia team goes to take on that 5-0 St. Augustine next week. No telling who's going to win that game. Mac's picking St. Augustine. I'm picking Columbia. I can't wait to watch that game. But as we move in here out of the 4A bracket and into 5A, let's talk about Atlantic and Delray Beach. Atlantic may be the biggest surprise in the state of Florida. I know they were 10-2 last year, but they lost a senior quarterback with a rising freshman, Pedro Martinez, or rising sophomore, Pedro Martinez, who's had a great season. He's leading that team right now. They're 5-0. You have Mark Hannaford at receiver. You have Ethan Hook that's had a really nice year at linebacker. But they at home beat a really solid Norland team, 43-21. Next week, they take on Palm Beach Gardens. It's a 1-3 team. I think they roll in that game. But what a great thing going on there. With that, we roll to the Gaither game, 4-1 Gaither team. Maybe the best team in the city of Tampa right now. They beat Tampa Bay Tech at Tampa Bay Tech, 34-17. Tech has the phenom freshman quarterback. If you don't know all about him, he is special, and everyone in the city will know about him soon enough. You talk about the quarterback, Ryan Browning, the 2028 class for Gaither, and Brian Hamilton, the wide receiver at Gaither. And then on Josh Balloon for me on linebacker. I'm not sure if Josh Balloon's related to Balloon that played at Blake maybe 20 years ago, but very similar last names. Nonetheless, Gaither goes next week to play Wesley Chapel, a 2-2 team. Mac thinks Gaither rolls in that game easily. We move on to the 6A division. It's Buchholz. Buchholz welcomed into town Richmond Hills. They beat them 21-0. Chris Johnson, the coach's son, has done a really nice job. Justin Williams at wide receiver has done a really nice job. Marquell Brooks on defense has done a really nice job, and offense. But that team next week plays Nice, and Nice is 4-1. Buchholz versus Nice, it's up in the air. Mac's going with Nice. I'm going with Buchholz. We can't wait to watch that game. And now let's finish with 7A. 7A at home beats a very solid and super well-coached Plant High School team, 28-24. They moved to 4-1. And Tony Balaquar on that team is running back in that 2027 class. And Cedric Johnson and Tayshawn Robinson on defense. They've all played really well for Sumner this year. That school hasn't been around for long. They are stacked with talent and super well coached. Sumner goes next week to play Plant City. Plant City's 5-0. Mac's picking Plant City. I'm picking Sumner. Good luck, stay healthy, and work hard all week. And finally, we move into Spruce Creek. Spruce Creek beat a Titusville team. Titusville's team that's 2-3 at the moment. Beat them 29-22. Titusville's had a little down season. I'm a little disappointed in them. I thought they'd do a little better. Spruce Creek's 5-0, led by the junior P.J. Miller at quarterback. And then you have Cameron Oxendine at wide receiver, and then Mason Moore at linebacker. Those three people kind of lead that Spruce Creek team. Spruce Creek goes to play DeLand next week. DeLand's one of the biggest surprises in the state of Florida. They are 5-0. Mac's picking DeLand. I'm picking Spruce Creek. And finally, we talk about the Boone Braves. Shout out to my father, who is a Boone grad, 1964. Boone is 5-0. They beat a great Ocoee team, 24-21. Sam Johnson at quarterback. Aaron Hardy Jr. at running back, Jeremiah Allen at wide receiver, putting on a clinic for the Boone Braves. Boone Braves haven't been 5-0 and I don't know how long. It's Timber Creek next week, 2-3 Timber Creek team, and I think the Boone Braves roll, as does Mac. Good luck to the Boone Braves, and thank everyone for listening. Hope you've enjoyed the content, and if so, please hit your like and follow button.